So there I was, feet kicked up, recliner in full weekend warrior position, casually flicking through sports highlights on my phone. A peaceful Friday evening, rare, precious, and temporarily uninterrupted. My fiancée, let's call her Ashley, had gone out for a sorority reunion party at her old college. I figured, great, she's catching up with the girls, I'm catching up with ESPN, everybody wins, right? Wrong. Out of nowhere, my phone buzzes. Not once, not twice, no, this thing was vibrating more than a rookie kicker during a playoff field goal. I thought maybe there was some national emergency I missed, but no, it was just notifications from Ashley's social media. Apparently, she and her sorority sisters had decided to do an impromptu live stream at the party, rating random guys walking by. Charming. Initially, I chuckled. Just some harmless fun, right? Curiosity got the best of me, so I tapped the notification. And boy, that tap led me down the rabbit hole. There they were, Ashley and her friends, lined up like a panel of judges on some twisted reality TV game show. Guys would wander past and they'd shout out ratings like Olympic gymnastic judges, though less generous. Then it happened. A guy strolled by and I heard Ashley's voice loud and clear through the stream. Ooh, he's at least an 8. Way better than my fiancé, he's like a 4 out of 10 on his best day. The other girls erupted in laughter like she just delivered a comedy special. At that moment, I froze, and for a second, the world felt silent. April 10th on his best day? Really? The guy who fixed her flat tire in the rain and managed to burn scrambled eggs consistently each Sunday, surely worth at least a solid 6 for effort alone, right? Something clicked in my head and I did what any self-respecting, mildly sarcastic guy would do. I opened Facebook, tapped my profile, and calmly updated my relationship status to single, complete with the note, apparently upgraded to available since I'm only a 4 out of 10. Taking applications. I sat back, a smug smile forming. Justice was served digital age style. But little did I know Ashley and her friends were still live streaming, completely oblivious to the social media bombshell I just casually dropped. Within minutes, my phone buzzed again, but this time it wasn't notifications, it was full-blown phone calls. The first one popped up, Katie sorority sis. I ignored it. Then Becca sorority sis flashed next, followed by Jess sorority sis. One after another, sorority sisters were calling me in a sheer state of panic. My phone was practically having a meltdown like a GPS desperately rerouting after a missed turn. Apparently, I'd unintentionally provided the plot twist to their little livestream drama and it was clear that Ashley hadn't realized what had happened yet. Oh boy, was she in for a surprise when she checked her phone. My recliner suddenly felt like the throne of chaos. There I sat, sipping my drink and watching the spectacle unfold, equal parts entertained and bewildered. Every unanswered call sent waves of satisfaction through me. Revenge might be petty, but man, it sure feels good occasionally. Then finally, after what must have been the 10th missed call, Ashley's name flashed on the screen. Now things were getting interesting. I let it ring for a bit, giving myself a few seconds to mentally rehearse my lines and then answered casually, "Oh hey, Ash. How's the rating going tonight?" Silence. Dead silence. Then came the frantic voice, layered with disbelief and urgency. "Babe? Oh my God, what did you do? My sisters are freaking out. What's going on?" Her voice pitched upward, a note usually reserved for finding spiders in the shower. I chuckled dryly, leaning further into the recliner. "Oh, nothing much," I replied calmly, "just figured since I'm only a April 10th, you'd appreciate the upgrade to single. I wouldn't want you settling." No, babe, it was a joke." Ashley pleaded desperately, voice shaking. "We were just playing around, you know how silly we get." I had to give her credit, she sounded genuinely panicked. Maybe the realization of publicly humiliating her fiancé wasn't as humorous as she'd thought. I glanced at my laptop screen, noticing the comments flooding into their live stream, blowing up the chat with reactions to our unfolding drama. People were absolutely loving the chaos, someone even typed, "Plot twist of the century." Well, I sighed dramatically, your joke might have cost us more than laughs. It cost you a wedding and, by the way, those deposits were non-refundable. But hey, you rated me accurately, at least according to your expert panel of judges. I could hear muffled voices in the background, Ashley's friends frantically whispering advice, like a tactical team in a hostage negotiation. Katie, who'd always been overly dramatic, shouted something indistinct in panic. Ashley shushed her harshly, her anxiety clear. "Wait, please don't do this." Ashley pleaded, voice cracking, "It was stupid, I know, but we were just having fun. You can't seriously break up over something so trivial." I paused for dramatic effect, savoring the tension. "Funny thing about trivial stuff, Ash," I finally said, "it's often the clearest reflection of how someone really feels." And it sounds like your feelings rated me below average. Babe, please, we can fix this, Ashley begged, desperation oozing from every word. I smiled, feeling a strange sense of clarity and confidence wash over me. I'm afraid your ratings are final. But don't worry, I'm sure your audience is enjoying the show. With that, I ended the call, setting my phone aside. I took a deep breath, feeling oddly refreshed. Whatever happened next, I knew one thing: tonight had definitely gotten interesting. I leaned back, savoring the quiet aftermath of hanging up on Ashley. It was the sort of silence that always follows a good fireworks display, peaceful yet charged with residual excitement. Just as I was beginning to enjoy the tranquility, my phone buzzed again. This time it was a text from Katie, who clearly had designated herself as crisis manager. Hey, listen, she's hysterical over here. Can you please answer your phone? Katie texted urgently. I stared at the screen for a moment, pondering my options. Was I cruel for enjoying this a bit too much? Maybe. But was it justified? Absolutely. Besides, what good sitcom doesn't milk the drama? My curiosity got the better of me again, and I called Katie back. She answered instantly, speaking rapidly like an auctioneer desperate to sell off damaged goods. Okay, first things first, she's sorry. She didn't mean it. You know Ashley's got a big mouth. And secondly, everyone is watching this. Everyone. You've got to come here and sort this out. Please. I let out a light chuckle, unable to resist poking a little more fun at the unfolding melodrama. Come to the party? Katie, do you realize the reception I'd get as the famous 4 out of 10 fiancé? I'd probably need security just to navigate the room. I mean, can a guy rated that low even safely show his face in public? Katie sighed deeply, clearly not amused by my sarcasm. Look, you know she messed up. But can't you at least give her a chance to fix it? For everyone's sake. I paused, imagining the scene vividly, Ashley panicking, sorority sisters pacing anxiously, and a live audience eating popcorn as they watched this real-life soap opera. It was almost tempting to show up, just for the spectacle. You know, Katie, I finally said, keeping my tone relaxed, I consider it, but honestly, what's the point? Her ratings were loud and clear. Seems like Ashley and her audience have spoken. Besides, she always said honesty was important, right? So, let's just keep it honest. Katie groaned, audibly frustrated. You're seriously doing this now? You realize how public this is? She's practically in tears. I'm used thoughtfully, almost as public as rating your fiancé a 4 out of 10 during a live stream. Interesting how that works. There was another silence, heavy and filled with resignation. I could practically hear Katie mentally planning her next strategic move. Fine, she finally snapped. You want to play it this way, I can't stop you. But remember, this could have consequences beyond tonight. Think about it. I smiled lightly, feeling strangely liberated. Consequences? Katie, I'm counting on it. With that, I ended the call and leaned back again, a renewed sense of determination washing over me. Whatever came next, at least I knew I'd faced it with integrity and a healthy dose of humor. The digital storm I'd stirred was raging with full force now. My notifications were exploding, the kind of digital chaos usually reserved for celebrity breakups. Friends, family, and total strangers had all joined the chorus, some offering support, others reveling in the drama. One comment read, "Legendary move, bro. You deserve better than a 4. Another simply stated, "Justice is served." As tempting as it was to dive into the comments section and bask in the online applause, I chose instead to just watch the madness unfold from the sidelines. After all, this wasn't about fame or sympathy. It was about dignity. Then my phone buzzed again and I saw a new name pop up, Dad. Oh. Parents had entered the chat. Son, just saw your update. You okay? Need backup? Your mom is already assembling a snack tray for emotional support. My dad's text had a playful edge, a clear sign he'd seen the humor in all this. I quickly responded, all good here, Dad. Save the snacks, this is more entertaining than painful. Meanwhile, back at Ashley's livestream, things had clearly devolved into chaos. Someone had wisely decided to cut the feed, but clips were already going viral, spreading faster than a cat video. It seemed the internet was firmly on team 4 out of 10. Just when I thought the night couldn't get any more surreal, my phone rang again, this time a video call request from Ashley herself. Curiosity and perhaps a pinch of sympathy compelled me to answer. Ashley's face appeared on the screen, eyes puffy from crying, makeup smeared in a way that looked more comedic than tragic. Behind her, I saw her sorority sisters milling around anxiously, clearly unsure what to do next. Look, Ashley started, her voice trembling but determined, I messed up. Big time. But can we please just talk? Face to face? Not like this. I studied her face, feeling a surprising lack of anger, just an odd calm. Ashley, the internet might love drama, but I don't. Tonight, you decided to publicly rate your fiancé like a cheap movie review. Honestly, I'm not sure there's much left to talk about. She swallowed hard, the weight of her actions finally seeming to sink in fully. Can I at least explain myself? I owe you that much. I sighed, understanding that closure might not be the worst thing. All right, I said finally. Tomorrow. Coffee shop, noon? Neutral territory, just like our first date. Ashley nodded quickly, relief washing over her face. Thank you, seriously. I'll be there. After hanging up, I set my phone aside and closed my eyes, feeling the evening's surreal events catching up with me. Whatever awaited tomorrow, I knew one thing for certain: my days as a mere 4 out of 10 were officially behind me. The following morning arrived faster than I anticipated. I'd barely had time to finish my first cup of coffee before realizing that the moment of reckoning was nearly upon me. I glanced at the clock, 11:30. Time to get this over with. Walking into the coffee shop felt like stepping onto the set of a movie sequel I never wanted to star in. The familiar smell of roasted beans and pastries did little to soothe the awkwardness I felt bubbling inside. As I settled into a corner booth, I wondered how Ashley would approach this. Would it be an apology or a negotiation? My thoughts were interrupted by the chiming of the cafe door. Ashley stepped in, eyes scanning anxiously until she spotted me. She looked nervous, her usual confident stride reduced to hesitant, careful steps. She slid into the seat across from me, avoiding direct eye contact initially, as if gathering her courage. I ordered your usual, I said casually, sliding her a cup of coffee already sitting on the table. Figured I'd save us the trouble of awkward ordering. A faint smile tugged at her lips. Thanks, she murmured, cupping her hands around the warm mug as if hoping it would steady her nerves. We sat in silence for a moment, the background chatter of other customers filling the void. Finally, Ashley broke the silence. I was wrong. Totally and completely wrong. It was a dumb joke, and I didn't even realize how much it would hurt you. I took a slow sip of my coffee, letting her words linger in the air. Ashley, I appreciate the apology, but why'd you say it in the first place? I mean, in front of all those people. She sighed heavily, her eyes finally meeting mine. Honestly? It was just stupid peer pressure. The girls were joking around, and it got competitive. I got caught up and said something incredibly thoughtless without even realizing how hurtful it was. So, I replied carefully, you allowed your friends to turn our relationship into a live-action dating game? Ashley cringed visibly, shaking her head. I don't expect you to forgive me immediately or even at all. But please know, it wasn't how I really feel about you. Not even close. I nodded slowly, processing her words. The thing is, Ash, it's not even about the rating. It's about respect. You don't publicly undermine someone you love. Ever. She nodded quickly, eyes glistening again. You're absolutely right. I messed up badly. I'm not proud of myself. But if there's any chance at all, to fix this, I'm willing to do whatever it takes. The sincerity in her voice was evident, and for the first time since this all began, I felt a pang of sympathy. Yet, trust had been broken, and that wasn't something coffee shop apologies could instantly fix. I exhaled softly, choosing my next words carefully. Let's take some time apart. Figure ourselves out. Maybe down the road, who knows? But right now, we both need to reevaluate what we want and what we deserve. Ashley nodded again, wiping away a tear. Fair enough. Thank you, at least, for hearing me out. We parted ways quietly, both understanding something important had shifted. Whatever came next, at least it would come from honesty and self-respect. The days following the coffee shop meeting blurred together into a strange routine of normalcy. Life had to go on, and surprisingly, it did. The constant buzz of drama began fading into the background, replaced by quiet reflection and a healthy dose of humor as I recounted the story to friends who couldn't help but chuckle. One evening, I found myself in my garage, tinkering aimlessly with my car, my go-to-therapy session. As I twisted a wrench, my phone vibrated with a text from an unknown number. Curious, I checked the screen. Hey, it's Katie. I hope this isn't weird. Just wanted to say I'm sorry about everything. I should have stepped in, stopped the whole thing. I smiled slightly, amused by her late but genuine apology. Typing back quickly, I replied, Thanks, Katie. It's water under the bridge. Besides, this whole mess made me realize a few things. She responded almost immediately, like what? Pausing to gather my thoughts, I typed slowly, like maybe settling for someone who treats me like a 4/10 isn't the brightest idea. Life's too short for low ratings, right? She replied with a laughing emoji. Fair point. You deserve someone who sees the best in you. Don't settle. I set the phone aside, returning to the car with a fresh sense of clarity. Katie was right. If this experience had taught me anything, it was to never settle for less than what I deserved. My self-worth wasn't up for public debate or comedic relief. As days turned into weeks, my newfound perspective guided me toward healthier habits and connections. I rediscovered hobbies I'd forgotten, spent more time laughing with friends, and even entertained a few casual dates, nothing serious, but enough to remind myself that the world had plenty to offer beyond broken engagements and sorority drama. One afternoon, while cleaning out the hall closet, I stumbled across an old box of memories from my time with Ashley. Photos, souvenirs, letters, a bittersweet snapshot of our shared past. As I sifted through them, I felt no bitterness, only gratitude for the lessons learned. Carefully closing the box, I decided it was finally time to let go. I packed it away, knowing someday these memories would be nothing more than stories I'd tell with humor and wisdom. Closing the closet door, I felt lighter, stronger, and more assured of who I was and what I wanted. My heart felt clear, unburdened by lingering resentment. Sometimes even a disastrous rating can lead you to an invaluable realization about your true worth. Life, after all, isn't about how others rate you, it's about how you value yourself. Months passed, each day bringing new opportunities and experiences. I found myself thriving in ways I hadn't expected, appreciating simple joys and reconnecting with what genuinely made me happy. It felt like waking up after a long, restless sleep. Life was finally mine again. Then one Saturday afternoon, as I was enjoying a leisurely jog through the park, my phone buzzed. Katie again. We'd stayed casually in touch, occasional friendly chats, shared jokes, and mutual encouragement. Today her message read simply, "Coffee? No drama, promise." Grinning, I replied instantly, "You better not be rating anyone. Meet you in an hour." Katie was already there when I arrived, seated comfortably near a sunny window. She greeted me with a warm smile, radiating an ease and confidence I hadn't noticed before. It struck me how different this felt, lighthearted, genuine, and completely drama-free. So, she began, stirring her coffee gently. "How's life treating the famously underrated Bachelor?" I chuckled, easing back into my chair. "Surprisingly good. Apparently, there's quite the market for a solid 4 to 10 these days." She laughed, rolling her eyes playfully. "Oh please, you were always an easy 9, at least." Ashley had questionable judgment, obviously. "Careful," I teased lightly, "you might inflate my ego." "Good," she said with mock seriousness. "About time you saw your real value." Our conversation flowed naturally from there, effortlessly shifting from jokes to serious moments, seamlessly bridging past awkwardness into genuine connection. The afternoon stretched pleasantly into the evening, and as we finally stood to leave, Katie looked at me thoughtfully. "I know we started as accidental co-stars in Ashley's drama," she said softly, "but I'd love to keep getting to know the real you, the guy beyond the ratings." I smiled warmly, genuinely moved by her sincerity. "I'd like that." Walking home, I felt a renewed optimism, a reminder that life had a funny way of presenting opportunities when you least expected them. Maybe this chapter began with a humiliating live stream, but it had become a story of personal growth, self-respect, and unexpected possibilities. Arriving home, I glanced at my phone, smiling at Katie's follow-up text. "Today was fun. Glad you upgraded your standards." Chuckling softly, I typed back quickly, "Turns out, a 4 can become a 10 with the right perspective." She replied instantly, "Exactly. See you soon." I put down the phone, feeling content. Life had handed me a rough lesson in public humiliation, but I turned it into a personal triumph. Sometimes, what feels like the worst moment can be the exact thing you need to find your best self. And who knows, maybe my rating was never a 4 after all. Perhaps I was just waiting for someone who saw clearly enough to recognize a perfect match when they saw one.